Welcome to She Sells Radio. Today, you are going to hear the behind the scenes of a recent, well, not the behind the scenes, you're actually going to hear it, a live stream that I did all about top sales mindset. And we had a lot of questions submitted from the community, everything from how do I avoid going into scarcity mode in my business and when I'm selling? We had questions like, I'm in a corporate sales role and the sales cycle is long. How do I stay motivated when it feels like things are taking forever? So we had more come in live during the live stream, but I think they were really powerful questions that address a lot of different aspects of what's needed from a mindset standpoint to be just incredibly productive and abundant in the sales results that you're creating. So, without further ado, I am going to let you listen in to this training, to this recording, and I hope that it serves you. Looks like we are coming online. So, abundance habits in selling. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, good morning, Laura. So good to see you. We are just going live right now. Abundance habits in selling. We're going to talk about how to make the shift from scarcity into abundance. Oh, I love seeing our community hopping on. Julia Torald, hello, hello. If you are joining live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, please pop a comment. Let me know you're here. I'd love to also hear from you. If you have questions on making the shift from scarcity into abundance mindset, and this has been so transformational in my life. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I love you all so much. This has been so transformational. And I felt called to speak about this morning. I actually just got back in pretty late last night from doing a client intensive in another part of the country with someone who's a billionaire. And it was really interesting. And I'll share, I'm not going to identify anything, but I'm going to share just a little bit of some of what I took away. I'm also going to share from some other great people and leaders in my life who I have learned so much from. But I do want to share to start that this was an area that I struggled for so long with scarcity mindset. And let me know if you can relate to that. Give me a heart or a yes in the comments if you can relate to that. And I think scarcity mindset, it's like it doesn't have anything to do with how much money is in the bank. It really doesn't. You know, we grew up upper middle class, but there was a lot of scarcity mindset embedded. And I struggled in this area of my life for so long. And I see this happening with the members of our community. And there's this magical shift that happens when you understand and you learn that abundance at its core doesn't have anything to do with how many sales are coming in or how much money is in the bank. By the way, on Instagram, if you let me know if the Wi-Fi is okay. It's showing me that I don't have great bandwidth right now. So fingers crossed we're okay. Just let me know if you have any issues with hearing. But you know, abundance doesn't have anything to do with how much money is in the bank. Now, when you learn how to embody abundance and you start to do the self-concept work, awesome, Charles, thank you for letting me know. When you start to do the self-concept work to actually see yourself as an abundant person, your financial situation will shift. Your client situation will shift. You will have more clients coming in when it feels like on default, on autopilot. You'll be selling more. Maybe you were selling a lot of payment plans. You'll start selling a lot more paid in fulls, right? It's all about your energy, but you cannot wait for anything outside of you to shift or change before you decide, I'm going to focus on being an abundant person. Okay. So and I'll share just a little bit of my backstory too. And I'm not going to do a super long live stream this morning. We've got a lot of things going on today that are all exciting, but I wanted to hop on and just share this from the heart. And let me know too, if you can relate to this. Like, I think so much of how we're taught and trained in the business world is scarcity mindset. You know, the way that I was taught and trained when I first started in sales decades ago was very much about competition. It was like, do whatever you have to do to hard close, to hard sell. And I think this is why so many people get a terrible taste in their mouth when it comes to sales and business, because we're taught that this is what you have to do. And there's even today, I saw some of it over this weekend. Even today, there are a lot of people with big platforms teaching that that you have to like take the competition down. There's not enough for everyone. You have to hard close. You have to force. You have to like not take no for an answer to a point where it's not honoring to the other person. And this is how I was trained and raised up. And it led me to a point in my late 20s where I was like, I was working hard. I was selling media sales. I was working hard. I was, by probably a lot of people's standards, successful. You know, I was close to the top, if not top of the leaderboard, pretty consistently at work. But I was having so much anxiety around what I thought I had to do to be successful and the way I was being taught to sell. And I'd love to hear in the comments if you can relate to this at all. Christine, good morning. Good to see you. But, you know, inside, so like outwardly successful, but inside struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, and eating disorder. And I was like, there has to be another way. There has to be another way. And I think that we, as a community, as a global community, whether you're in sales or business or not, I think that we're all being invited to a shift in consciousness where we drop the old paradigm of separation, lack, scarcity, competition. Not that there's nothing wrong with competing against yourself. I love constantly like competing against myself in a healthy, positive, self-loving way. But I think that we're being invited to drop so many of the old paradigms that have gotten us into scenarios that, you know, that aren't honoring to each other, and really step into a different way of being in the world, and especially in the sales and business world, one where we understand that there is enough for all of us, one that we understand where we don't have to force or push someone into something just to try to get a sale, where we understand that we can help and support people in the same industry as us, and that there's still going to be more than enough for all of us. And this is a concept that we teach and train in our community called abundance selling. Beth, good evening. So good to see you. So when I started studying under mentors, this was, you know, over 10 years ago now, started studying under mentors who were manifesting what a lot of people would consider, you know, a great deal of financial success, millions, multi-millions, in the same industry as me. But I found what I was attracted to was they had a different way of being in their sales and in their business, one that was so different from what I had been taught. And it was, I heard things like, go where you're wanted, not where you're needed. And I'd been so conditioned to like, if someone needs what I have to offer, I have to make them buy it no matter what. Now, I'm not saying that we don't overcome objections. I'm not saying that we don't go deep with someone when we know we can offer them a transformation. Like anyone who shadowed me on a sales call, I've had people be like, I can't believe you just said that to them, because I will be direct. I will speak to someone very, some of you have been on those calls with me. If I know I can help you and serve you and you want that transformation, like I will go deep with you. I will lovingly call you up. I will lovingly call you out when I notice or hear limiting beliefs. I have no issue doing that. But the difference is the energy. I am not attached to someone needing to buy from me or not, because it doesn't have anything to do with my level of abundance. So, and my own security, well-being, self-confidence, none of that. So check in with yourself. Do you feel attached on sales calls? Do you feel nervous to go deep with someone into helping them uncover the limiting beliefs that are holding them back? Do you feel anxiety or fear when you check your bank account? I mean, there's all these things where we can just notice and see within ourselves, oh, there's an opportunity for me to embody abundance at a deeper level in my life. And so as I studied and learned under these great mentors, I found that when I incorporated some of the principles that I'm going to teach you today, that things shifted dramatically. in my business. And not only did I feel better, but I was actually making more money and selling way more as well. And so I want to speak today a little bit about abundance habits. And it's anchored in this concept of abundance selling. So we talk in our community about abundance selling versus scarcity selling. And I think a lot of what we've been taught to do traditionally is scarcity selling. That's a lot of what I was speaking to earlier on the live stream. And I want to help, if you learn this, you'll shift into what we call abundance selling. And because the energy in which you do a thing determines the outcome of the thing, if you approach your sales and your business from an energy of abundance, you're going to have that result mirrored back to you. Is that making sense? Let me know in the comments. Give me a heart, give me a yes if this is making sense. And I think it's helpful to have real world examples too. So I'm going to share just a little bit of some things that I've seen modeled by people in my life that I think are really beautiful and powerful, that we can all learn from and focus on embodying further. So I'm going to share just very high level. First, I had the pleasure of working with someone recently who's a billionaire. And I wanted to know his take on abundance. I wanted to know his take on abundance. And to me, I think this is something that's really important for everyone here listening as well, is when you are hiring a mentor or a coach, you want to hire them to learn how they think. So when I was with this individual, I was like, I want to know how you think about money and abundance, because there's a whole nother level of consciousness that this person is at in order to have billions of dollars flowing in his life versus where I am right now, versus where probably most of us are right now, right? So I say all of that to say, if you're watching this and you are looking to hire a mentor, sorry, my face is itchy today. You're looking to hire a mentor, like whether it's me or somebody else, hire them not to be like, hey, give me this strategy. Hire them because you want to learn how they think. This is how we should hire mentors in our life. You want to be in their energy and you want to find out how do they think about certain things so that you can start to model and practice that level of thinking. And so one thing that this person shared that I thought was so powerful was that he actively helps his competitors in his space. And I was like, how many of us, if we were in a place where maybe business was tough or things were hard and we had a competitor, quote unquote competitor, right, who was also facing some challenges, would you stop what you're doing to actually help them? To say, hey, let me sit down and help you think about your business. Let me sit down. And this person had even sent some money his competitors' ways. And it was just like, wow, like that mindset, that is abundant selling. And again, we want to look for the evidence. So that way of thinking, that approach to business is generating billions of dollars flowing in. Does that make sense? So I think that's number one. Again, there's so much out there, and I don't like this at all. There's so much out there about like crush the competition, blah, blah, blah. Like it's not an up-leveled way of thinking. It's not, and it's scarcity mindset. Anytime you feel like you got to crush somebody else, that is scarcity mindset, my friend. And you're not actually going to reach your full potential from that energy. Another example, and I'll name the next two people by name and give them some shout outs because I think you should follow them and connect with them. Beautiful person in my life, Ian Koniak. If you're not connected with him or following him, he was a client in the past. He's a colleague. We're in a similar space. We teach different things, but there's a lot of overlap. But this person, he was the number one rep for Salesforce before he started his own sales coaching company. We've actually had him in to speak to our community and on the podcast a few times now. Funny, I just had deja vu. It's interesting. You have those moments where you have deja vu and you're like, whoa, what was that? But then it fleets. So I just had that was interesting. So we've had him in a number of times to speak, but he launched his coaching business several years ago now, like just a few years ago. And is doing multi-millions in his business, hit Inc. 5,000 list, Inc. I don't know, hit an Inc. list this year. And his whole mindset is around generosity and abundance. I was honored to go speak at his mastermind a month or two ago, and I watched him celebrate someone in the community who had graduated from his program and was hiring a new coach. And he celebrated it. And I was like, how amazing, and what an abundance mindset. Think about this for yourself, whether you're a coach, a service provider. If you had a client who was completing with you and moving on to someone else, would you celebrate that for them? And maybe you would, but a lot of people wouldn't. I watched him do this, and I was just like, wow. And again, the proof is in the pudding. That is abundance selling. He and I actually co-facilitated training together on abundance selling. You can go find it on his YouTube, my YouTube. You should follow him either way, but that is abundance selling. Let me just pause and read comments. Torald is saying, love that, to up level. We need to do something so different. Reading you squared at that moment. Beautiful. Yeah. I was watching, this weekend when I was on the road, I was watching this interview with Michael Beckwith and somebody else. I don't remember. Aria, someone was the name of the woman he was interviewing, but they were talking about, Torald, to your point, when you're ready to up level and expand, you reach a point that I can feel that I'm actually here in my own life right now. And it's powerful, where it's like, they talked about a chicken and an egg, where a chicken, when it's still in the egg, and it's like, it's starting to get too big. And it's starting, like, there's excrement in the egg. It's like, I got to get out, right? I got to get out. It doesn't look for a bigger egg. The egg doesn't expand, but there's actually an impulse in the chicken to peck through the egg, to get out, to step into a completely different world, a completely different universe. And so if you're feeling that call for expansion, which I'm guessing you are because you're here, oh, Julie, I'm saying the audio is going in and out. Sorry. I hope it's coming in okay. If you are, because you're here, it's like, don't ask for a bigger egg. Don't ask for a bigger egg. I would look at, what would it look like to step completely outside of the box that I'm in right now? And this way of thinking, integrating abundance selling, integrating this way of thinking is part of stepping out completely of the egg that you're in, the box that you're in. Does that make sense? So I thought that was a really beautiful example of that as well. And then the final example I want to give, this woman, she actually spoke to our clients last week. And again, it's just like, the proof is in the pudding. Study people who have the results you want. But Amberly Lago, she's been on the podcast. She had me on her podcast a month or so ago. And she's built most people would say, the brand that she has built in a short amount of time in the speaking and coaching and personal development space. Most people would look at that and say, not possible. And yet she's done it. And I remember when she and I connected years ago, and she was first launching her business. She told me this. She's like, I didn't even have a computer. She didn't have a computer. She didn't know how to use a lot of technology. And now she's speaking on stages with everyone, Ed Milet, Jay Shetty, Brendan Burchard. I mean, you name it. She's doing it. She's speaking on stages with them. But though, if you study her energy, and again, go follow her too, go connect with her. If you study her energy, everything, and I said this when I introduced her to our group last week, everything is about generosity. Everything is about sharing, like so generously sharing. Hey, here's how you land stages. Here's how you land stages. Here's how you elevate. And she's sharing this with speakers and aspiring speakers who want to be on the same stages as her. She's telling them, some people would say, oh, that's going to be your competition. Don't share your secret. She's like, no, let me tell you. She creates stages and shares them with other women. So the bottom line here, and what I want to leave you with, is if you desire more abundance in your business, in your life, you have to first notice and become abundance yourself. You have to start asking different questions, not how can I get more money in the bank? Not how can I have more sales this month? Nothing wrong with those questions, but those questions inherently are coming from a place of lack, because when you ask questions like that, you're saying, I don't have it. I would instead ask, how can I become an abundant person? And how would an abundant person show up today? How would an abundant person speak? Would they be freaking out about where's my next client going to come from, or how am I going to pay this bill? No, they would be in gratitude and generosity. And one thing that you can do now, the energy behind this is important, but one thing that I would encourage you to do is give what you want to receive. Give what you want to receive. So think about right now, what is it that you want to receive in your business or your sales? Is it more clients? Is it more referrals? Is it more opportunities? Okay, if so, how can you give that to someone else? Now, don't do it because you think you're going to get something back. Okay, it's not going to work when you do it that way. Do it because it feels good. Do it because you want to focus on being an abundant person. Do it because you want to Torald's point earlier, step completely outside of the box and practice a different approach. You know, get out of that egg, crack your way out of the egg, have a completely different world and universe in front of you when you do that. So give what you want to receive. Do we have questions on this for everyone who's joining live? Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you. I've got an interview shortly here, but let me see. Oh, Beverly, good morning. Let me see. You're on LinkedIn. These are such great questions to ask. Good. Yeah. And I like, again, it's just stuff that I've learned over the years, because I used to be so focused when I was in scarcity selling. All I would think about was like, how can I sell more clients? How can I make more money? And I love making more money. I love enrolling more clients. I love that. It's fun. It's beautiful. To me, it's a part of service. It's a part of living our fullest expression. So I love all of those things. I enjoy it. And that's a consistent part of my life. But that didn't happen easily or effortlessly when I was in a place of scarcity mindset. Does that make sense? So when I was just focused on how can I make more money? How can I sell more clients from a place of needing validation or needing it to feel abundant, worthy, successful, they didn't come in that energy. It was extremely hard. When you start asking questions like this and you shift your focus to what can I control, which is who am I being? Who am I being and how can I be abundance? You know, we teach the women in our community, the members of our community, like you are abundance. And when you learn that and you learn it has nothing to do with anything outside of you, but you shift your focus to being an abundant person, things get really exciting and really good and really different. And you'll see the outer world shift to mirror the inner. Now, we operate in time lag. So give yourself some time and space to practice this, and don't think that, oh, it's not working if there's not millions of dollars flowing in right away. You know, if you've practiced scarcity, you've practiced it for a while. You got to shift. You're making some shifts. So give yourself the time and space to start to see the outer shift to mirror the inner, but it will. It's inevitable. It can't not. It's just a matter of time. Do we have any other questions on this? Takeaways, comments? While you're popping those in or thinking about if you have any, we have two things if you want to go deeper in this, which we'd love to offer to you and invite you to. So one is I have a completely free training where we have a concept we call the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. Money is one of them. Abundance is one of them. So if you go to elisearcher.com/4 quadrants, it's a deep dive free training you can take on this. Oh, I'm so glad, Torald. I love you. Thank you for letting me know. I'm so excited you're going to be at our money event coming up. And Torald, you embody this energy as well. You've made so many beautiful shifts in your business and your life, and it's so powerful to see. So I'm really glad that this resonated. So we've got that. We've got the free training. And then we also do have an event coming up in a couple weeks here in Maine, which is a deep dive into abundance, money, prosperity, consciousness. My pleasure. I love you. And we've got 3 tickets left for that. So elisearcher.com/money mindset live. If you want to come and work deep with me and the team on becoming an abundant person so that your sales and your business results will shift dramatically to mirror that. So I'm so grateful for each of you. Thank you for being here. We are doing the live streams weekly at 9 Eastern on Tuesdays. Next week, I am not going to be here. We have no childcare next week for the kiddos. So I'm going to be momming hardcore. But then we will resume. What day is it going to be? Let me look here. Calendar, come back. The following Tuesday. So Tuesday the 9th, we'll be back with another live stream for you. But as always, Beck, I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. I know it's late your time. As always, if there's anything we can do to help support you, serve you, send me a DM. My team and I are here to help you. And we really just want to collectively shift the consciousness in the sales and business world from one of scarcity and lack and competition into one of abundance. Oh, Beverly is saying this free training is amazing. I made more shifts in progress with this training alone than I had with any other abundance trainings I'd previously done. Beautiful. Thank you for telling me that. That's the 4 quadrants, I think you're saying. That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, this work is deep. This work will change your life. And so again, it's like as each of us up levels and shifts, we change the dynamic for future generations. And it's a really, really beautiful gift to give, not just yourself, but the other people in your life as well. So thank you to all of you. Love you. Grateful for you. I will see you in 2 weeks on our next live stream. Take care. Bye-bye.